Oh, can you hear me? Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of Portland. Super good to see everybody. For many of us, we've been out enjoying and playing all summer. It feels like we're back home. I'm going to start out with this morning, put a little love in your heart. Here we go.
Think of your fellow man, lend him a helping hand. Put a little love in your heart. You see it's getting late, oh please don't hesitate. Put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place. And the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Another day goes by and still the children cry. Put a little love in your heart. If you want the world to know we won't let hatred grow, put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place. And the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Wait and see. Take a good look around, and if you're feeling down, put a little love in your heart. I hope when you decide, kindness will be your guide. Put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place. And the world will be a better place for you and me. Just wait and see. Love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart each and every day. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart. Know you got to put a little love in your heart each and every day. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart.
Woo, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You know, we've had some spectacular guest musicians this summer, but isn't it great to have our house band back? Yeah. I've missed y'all. Yeah, it's been great. It sounded great. Thank you. Well, welcome to Unity Spiritual Center of Portland. I'm Beth O'Shields, and I'm your administrator. Reverend Lisa's on sabbatical. And just like we've had wonderful guest musicians, we've also had wonderful guest speakers. And that continues today. We are privileged to welcome Reverend Sara Nichols. If you'll stand, yes. Reverend Nichols is a CSL minister. Her experience as a public interest advocate in Washington, D.C. and the California legislature informs her work as a speaker, a healer, teacher, author, and leader of a completely different reality. And boy, we're living that, aren't we? We are. So yeah, Reverend Sara's going to host a workshop following today's service. I know she's going to entice you to spend more time with her, and I'm sure you'll hear more about that a little bit later. So it's kind of hard to miss that there's something happening in the sanctuary. It has been an exciting few weeks as our window project has been progressing. I'm going to give you a little update. The inside will be finished this week. So we're pretty excited about that. Painting and priming are happening. And a couple of more weeks, the outside will be finished as well, and the scaffolding will come down. And if you've been following along in the newsletter, I've been trying to put some pictures in there every week. So we hope you'll take a look at that. But you can't see it this morning, but several of the panes of glass have been replaced with blue stained glass, and it just gives the windows a whole new beautiful look, and we're excited to reveal that to you soon. You know, we've been needing to do this for a really long time. We stepped out on faith with our Let There Be Light campaign this year, and we raised $30,000 of a $45,000 project. Yeah, so that was super exciting. We need that 15, though, to get us over the finish line, folks. I'm just saying, we're close, but we're hoping to do that by the end of the year. We want to give you an opportunity to contribute to the Let There Be Light campaign. In addition to your regular tithes and love offering, we'd love to have this checked off the list by the end of the year. And you'll also have a chance to do that with our Christmas challenge that's coming up, and then end of year giving. So lots of opportunities. Take that into your heart so that we can keep this building safe and secure and beautiful and all the things that we want our home to be. So we are a vibrant community, are we not? Many offerings to support you on your spiritual path. And we know you're here by divine order. We're grateful that you're here this morning. One of the ways that we support each other is through prayer. And we are a prayer based on intentional prayer. Unity's been praying nonstop for over 100 years, and we have wonderful prayer chaplains who are going to be available to pray with you following the service today. They are Carol Keffler and Lisa Siri. If you have a prayer need, they will meet with you following the service right up here. If you're not ready to do that, we have prayer requests in the backs of the chairs. You can fill out a prayer request. You can drop it right in this prayer box, and they will hold that prayer for you for 30 days before sending it on to Silent Unity. And there's also a beautiful guided meditation that happens each Sunday at 10:30 in our chapel, and you're welcome to come and join them for that. And so this week, I'd like to introduce Pam Martell, who is one of our prayer chaplains, and she's going to lead us in the opening prayer today.
Hello. It's good to see you guys. Father, Mother, God, Infinite Spirit, Higher Self, today I give thanks. I give thanks for all the people in the building. I give thanks for our musicians being back. I give thanks for the joy and the love and the connection and the community that we form in this building and carry with us through our day out into the world, where we become little pieces of the light that starts to create the world that we want to see. And for that, I am grateful, and I say amen.
Thank you, Pam. And I'm going to talk a little bit about Pam's upcoming workshop while she gets back upstairs to her streaming station. Pam is our video streamer, and so it's a good time too. Yes, we thank her for that for sure. And all of you in our virtual family, I know you're thankful for Pam. She gets that video up there. I know we had a little hiccup last Sunday, but I think she's going to be able to recover that service and get that back up online for you today, too. It does happen sometimes with Facebook, and apologies for that, but we're glad our virtual family is a part of this community, too, and we try to serve them in many ways. But I wanted to mention about Pam. She holds a lot of hats here. She is going to be doing a group past life regression meditation session on October the 15th. And she did one of these a couple months ago, and it went over so well, and people just really had a wonderful experience. So we've invited her back to do another one. So that's on October the 15th. There's some flyers out there on the table. So as I mentioned earlier, Reverend Sara will be holding a workshop, Knowing What You Know, following the service today in the chapel. That's going to start about 12:30. So grab a cup of coffee and come on up and join us after. It's a suggested love offering of $49. No one will be turned away. And all the workshop love offerings, Reverend Sara has generously donated back to our church. So we thank you for that, Reverend Sara. Thank you. And so we hope you'll see us over in the chapel following the service today. We're a member of the Belmont Business District, and yesterday was the Belmont Street Fair. Yes, and we had a wonderful booth there. We had about 12 people. We had a group in the morning who came over at 7:30, packed up everything, took it over and set it up, and then we had a group last night. I saw them on the Ring camera at like 7 o'clock back in here bringing all the stuff back. So we thank all of you. If you were part of that yesterday, please stand so that we can honor you for being a part of that. Barbara, I know you were there. Yes, thank you. The rest of them are at home recuperating, I guess. It was a long, hot day. I did stop over there and see them. And, you know, we're so fortunate to have people who love this place enough that they're out there telling other people to come and experience it. So I thank all of you for that heartfelt welcome you gave to all those people yesterday. This week, Unity celebrates their 30th annual World Day of Prayer. And they are doing that. I've put a link, there's a link in the newsletter. Wednesday night, there is a stream from Silent Unity, from Unity Village. You can register online for that. That happens on Wednesday. And then Thursday, you can join our Unity chaplains at 6:30 over in the East parking lot for the Healing of the Heart Labyrinth Walk. Healing as a human race begins with the healing of our own hearts. What pain, doubt, struggles are you carrying? Come and journey inward as you walk the labyrinth in. Lay down your hurts in the center. Let go. Let God. Then redefine your intentions for a fresh beginning as you journey out into the endless possibilities of your life. And that's an invitation from Colleen, who could not be here today, but she will be here on Thursday holding the high watch for that. So join them this Thursday at 6:30 over in the parking lot. And then on Friday, we're going to put a PS on that, where you can come and join in a drumming healing ritual circle. That's on Friday, September the 15th. No experience is necessary. Bring your intentions for sending the good healing vibrations deep into our Mother Gaia. You can bring some form of nature to place on the altar in our Mother's honor. If you have an extra drum or rattle, you can bring them. She says you can even bring river rocks to knock together. But I do want to say I've been, and Kim Alder brings a myriad of percussion things that you can join in with and borrow, and it's a lot of fun. We switch them up. It's a great time, and this is going to be a really special, sacred time together, and that's going to be on Friday evening at 7. Okay. I want to mention there's a leaders meeting next Sunday. If you're a leader of a Love and Action team, you should have received an email this week, and if you didn't, come see me after the service, and I will let you know about that. It's sign-up season here at Unity. We have many offerings as we move into fall. Fall program begins October 1. That's in a couple of weeks. Spirit groups are forming. Reverend Lisa will be using the book Living Untethered, Beyond the Human Predicament by Michael Singer. That's going to be on Sunday mornings, and then we will do a deep dive in our spirit groups during the week. There's 4 groups available. There's sign-ups out on the lobby table, in the newsletter, and on the website. And we have 3 groups that are meeting on Zoom in the evenings that are open, and we have 1 in person on Sunday afternoon. So that's the availability for those. And the men's and women's retreats, there's information out there on those. The men's retreat last weekend in October. Women's retreat with Karen Drucker is the first weekend of November. So those are both coming up. Reverend Lisa will be starting her class, her fall class, Claim Your Inner Power, based on the William Warsh book, Your 12 Gifts from God. This will start on Wednesday, October the 4th, 6:30 to 8:30. It's going to be in person and on Zoom. And again, you can sign up in the lobby or online. And that's $85 for the entire series if you pay by the first class, or it's $15 a class after that. Real quick mention, Path to Membership. We will be doing membership in October. And if you have any questions about that, next Sunday, Barbara Hemingway is going to be out in the lobby at the desk, and she's going to have information on membership. That whole journey will start on October 1 with Reverend Lisa's New Thoughts for a New Life. So we hope that if you've been considering joining our community, this is an opportunity for you to do that, and we welcome you. So I just want to mention real quick, too, next Sunday, we will celebrate and honor our YOU teens who are going to lead our Sunday service. And we're pretty excited about this. You know, they have a lot to say. And I think it's going to be interesting to see what they have to say. I'm excited to hear what they each have to say. But they're going to do the whole service. And so we're excited. I think even Reverend Lisa might show back up to support them for that Sunday. But yeah, it's going to be a really great day. And so we hope you'll come and join us for that. All right. As I say each week, all of this information's in your newsletter. If you're not getting it, you're missing out because there's a lot happening here. And maybe you've been coming for a while. If you have and you're not on the email list, you can fill out one of these neon cards today and turn it in. And if this is your first time with us, welcome. We're glad that you joined us. If you didn't get a welcome packet on your way in, if you'd raise your hands, our ushers are coming forward with the welcome packets now. And maybe you already picked one up, and that's okay. There's a couple back there. We're glad that you're here. There's one up here. Yeah, we got a couple. And on the front, there's a rose sticker. We'd love for you to peel that off and stick it to your clothes this morning. We can give you a nice warm welcome following the service. We invite you down to Coffee and Connection, which is our socialization hour. Following the service, get a snack and a cup of coffee, and we're just really super glad you're here. Fill out this card and drop it in the offering bag when it comes around, or you can drop it in the door, in the admin door, which is my office door over there in the corner, and we'll get you on the mailing list. We're glad you're here. Thanks for being here. All right, I think that's it. Are we ready to sing?
Yes.
Everybody stand for a congregational song. Let's sing.
All is well. Here we go. God is my source, and abundance is my nature. I live joyfully and easily, and know that all is well. All is well. I know that all is well. All is well. I know that all is. God is my source. God is my source, and abundance is my nature. I live joyfully and easily, and know that all is well. All is well. I know that all is well. All is well. I know that all is well.
This is the time in our service where we meet and greet each other, so take a moment to do that this morning.
Thank you. I got all hugged up with the meditation here. It was like everything she said was like, whoa, that's all on my mind. And so around and like kind of staying How's the paddleboard going?
One more time. Know that all is well. Know that all is well. All is
Thank you, Michael. Okay, let's all settle back in. Michael's going to lead us in a meditation song, and at this time, Reverend Sara will come up for our meditation and for her talk.
Alleluia. 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 Alleluia.
So just take a breath with me and allow it to return us to the only thing ever happening here. The one heart, one mind, one infinite presence, all knowing, all loving, all redeeming, all delivering. Beyond time, beyond space, beyond expectation, beyond limitation, beyond lack, beyond precedent. And prepare to enter a private sanctuary that each of us have, no matter what is going on in our lives. If there is anyone within the sound of my voice who is experiencing fear or danger, this is here for you. Your sacred heart, the cave of your sacred heart. And it's so sacred that we leave behind quite a bit before we enter. So at the gate of the Sacred Heart, the Sacred Heart is best found by going to the back of your body and entering in the middle of your breastbones and finding a little opening there. And leave at the door of the cave thoughts, beliefs, opinions, conclusions, judgments, fear, worry, doubt, shoulda, woulda, coulda, all the people that you're worrying about, all the projects, the to-do list. Leave it all there. All your worldly cares. And while you're at it, take off all your clothes and leave them there. And then just go in. And now you're in the safest place where there is only one frequency, one drum beat. I love you, I love you, I love you. I love you, I love you, I love you. I love you, I love you, I love you. I love you, I love you, I love you. Be in that. I love you, I love you, I love you. I love you, I love you, I love you. I love you, I love you, I love you. I love you, I love you, I love you. This is the truth. The whole truth and nothing but the truth. The only truth. No matter what you have done or not done, no matter what you regret, no matter what you ate or drank last night, you are loved. And you can always come back to this place. So now leave it if you will. You can put your clothes back on if you want to. But feel free to leave behind anything that you carried with you to the door of the cave. If you find that maybe you don't need it, you could try not picking back up anything and just walking with only that love beat into the rest of your day, into the rest of this service, into the rest of your life. And so it is.
Starts with a whisper, a sound on the breeze, dancing on moonbeams and shaking the trees. From one single note to the chorus at dawn, it grows like your hope from the moment it's born. Flying over rainbows, the promised tomorrow.
If you
follow the voice in your heart,
we can start again, right? Is that okay?
Sorry.
We love you, Leah.
It starts with a whisper, the sound on the breeze, dancing on moonbeams and shaking the trees. From one single note to the chorus at dawn, it grows like your hope from the moment it's born. Over rainbows on the promise of tomorrow.
Truth save the day, and you'll never lose your way.
If you follow, follow the voice in your heart. Always know that's how to find who you are. So hold on, never let go of your dreams.
Magic.
Is where it begins. Life is a beautiful thing. Let your heart sing. It starts with a secret, a glimmer of light, the last leaf that falls, the swallow first flight, the touch of a rainbow, the sparkle of snow, the North Star that guides you wherever you go. Racing every shadow, chasing sunlight till the stars glow. Let the truth in your heart save you every day. You'll never lose your way if you follow, follow the voice in your heart. Always know that's how you find who you are. So hold on, never let go of your dreams. You'll see the magic. Believing is where it begins. Life is a beautiful thing. Let your heart sing. You'll see the magic. Believing is where it begins. Life is a beautiful thing. Let your heart sing.
Well, thank you, Leah and Michael and band. That was so beautiful and such a perfect song for my topic today. And I loved that you started again, because that meant you were listening to your heart. You were listening to your inner guidance, and sometimes that's what we got to do, right? Start again, whatever that means. I've started again a lot of times. Oh, man. Anybody here ever started again? That would be a good talk. But that's not the talk. Anyway, hi there. I love being here. Reverend Lisa and I met on the Nile. In fact, that obnoxious picture of myself on all your chairs there is me on the Nile. And I don't think she took it, but she was sitting right there smiling at me. And we just became lifelong friends. I'm affirming that it's lifelong. We'll see. But I'm very, very privileged to be here in Portland. Portland is my city of the heart. I went to college here and lived here, have a lot of great friends here, and a couple of whom are in the room. And I couldn't get my husband. I got him to move all the way across the country, but not up into the Northwest. So we're down in California, living a dream there. So my topic today is how to know what you know. how to dial into that part of ourselves that is one really knows and knows that it knows what the answer is in any decision, anything that I'm facing. And that is not at all what I wanted when I walked into a place like this first, right? When I walked into a New Thought church many, many years ago, I was in pain. I was just in a lot of pain. And it was beyond me to think of dialing into that part of myself or accessing it. I just wanted to feel less in pain. One of my closest family members had been ill for years, and I couldn't do anything about it. I was powerless. I was completely powerless over what he was going through. And I was doing everything I could do to get out of that emotional pain. I did all the things I knew how to do, which was eating a lot, spending a lot, and controlling everyone around me. Anybody ever use those tools? Did you ever go to a workshop and learn how to do those things? That is, that'd be a good workshop. I like that workshop. Actually, all of life is that workshop, right? A lot of us grew up in a family that conducted that workshop full time. I like to say I grew up in a compulsive overeater training camp. So, and that's what I was doing. That's what I was doing when I walked into a New Thought Center down in Sacramento. And I got embraced, and I got told, people like you told me, you are loved. You are whole, perfect, and complete, exactly as you are right now. And I didn't believe it, but it did sound good, and it did feel good to hear that. And I stopped having to translate what I had heard in other kinds of places. Years before in Washington, D.C., I had come this close to enrolling in an Episcopal seminary. And back then, you know, they would talk Father, Son, Holy Ghost, and I would translate it to mind, body, spirit. And when I walked into a New Thought Center, I didn't have to translate anymore. Or I had to translate less, right? We all have our own ideas of the ways it should be said, right? I mean, is anybody in here not thinking, well, I wouldn't use that word, but it's a nice idea. So, so I walked in, and I didn't have to translate anymore, and I learned so much. In my case, I took class after class. You know, you don't end up being a minister without taking class after class, and practitioner first. And in the Science of Mind, Centers for Spiritual Living. And I was taught how to reliably work with spiritual principle. I was taught that it was scientific. It was predictable how we work with spiritual principle. Like a lot of science, you can't actually explain how everything works, but you can see that it does. For example, red and blue, when you put together, make purple. We don't know why. There isn't anyone who really knows why red and blue make purple, but we know that it does. And the same thing is how it works with spiritual principle. We can reliably work with it. But if you ever taught me how to make decisions, how to make choices, I missed that day. I missed that class. I missed that entire sequence. Right? You taught me I was always at choice. I always got to make choices. Anybody ever learn that? You're always at choice. First time I heard that, I was like, what's at choice? Why did they put it that way? But I always have a choice. That's good news and bad news. But how do I make it? Right? How do I make it? Why do we have to choose? Where are we going to make choices? Lots of things, right? Relationships. Are we going to break up? Are we going to get married? Are we going to take it to the next level? What? Careers, am I going to retire? Am I going to keep doing it? Am I going to is it going to become a labor of love? Am I going back to grad school? Am I changing my job? So many things. Houses, money. Do I rent? Do I buy? Do I move into a shack? How do I not move into a shack in this economy? You know, that kind of thing, right? So what are the choices that I'm making, and how do I make them? How have you been making these choices? A lot of us, any of you ever go down the Google rabbit hole as your way of making choices? Yeah, just spend hours researching and like putting it into a spreadsheet, or not putting it into a spreadsheet and forgetting everything but having wasted several hours on it. I mean, that's me, right? Google, yes. Google rabbit hole. Now, AI may be able to do this for us at some point, but so far, I don't find that Google actually makes the choices for me. It doesn't actually tell me what is mine to do. It gives me even more choices and even more options. You know, you can go to this Airbnb or that VRBO, and it costs this much or it costs that much, or it's this date or it's that date, and then there's that class, and there's so many classes, right? All of it. But what about friends and family as a way to make choices? Any of you turn to friends and family as a way to make choices? Yeah, because they have so much wisdom. No, I mean, a lot of them do, but the thing with friends and family is that it's very, even the most loving, most, people who have spent the most years in Al-Anon are not able to get their own idea of what is best for me out of the way sometimes, right? That's always somehow in the room. It's somehow there. Like, the best friends and family will bring me back to myself, to what works for me, what's right for me. But even so, the way the questions get framed and all the things, it's in the room. I remember hearing in one of these centers, one of my mentors saying, friends and family are great, but pick which ones you seat on the front row of your life. There are some you just can let sit at the back, and there are some that are at the front row. But even so, do I want even the best friends and family making the decisions for me? Can they really tell me what's mine to do, what's my truth, what's absolutely mine? Same with spiritual advisors or trusted mentors. Same exact thing, that aren't friends and family, but they're the people I go to. They're going to lead me back to me. Then it's always a question of, I can't tell you how many times I've mentored someone, and I've said, well, let's dial into what's really true for you. And they go, how do I do that? Anybody ever been there? How do I do that? How do I actually find what's true for me? The good news is we are spiritual beings having a spiritual experience in a human body on a human plane. And spirit is everything. Spirit is not just a man in the sky with a beard, and it isn't arranging events for my benefit. It has broken itself into all things, everything that there is and everything that there isn't, right? It has broken itself into all things, and it is showing up as me. It is showing up as you. That part of spirit that wants to live out its perfect life as you is showing up as you. And it did not necessarily come here to just do what everybody else thinks it should do. It didn't necessarily come here to do just what the human collective consciousness thinks that we used to do. It came here to have an incredible live ride through spirit. I mean, the people who know about these things say that there are just spirits lined up waiting for bodies to come to earth to have this ride. I mean, I don't know about those things, but I like the idea because it makes it more precious for me to be really interested into spirit. If spirit is living out its perfect life as me, whoa, that is really cool. Then shouldn't I be really interested in what spirit as me came here to do and what it wants to do? Wouldn't that be really cool to know? And why wouldn't I want to spend a lot of time figuring out what spirit is here to do and how to make choices at that level, the part of spirit that is here with me? So that takes preparation, it takes learning, and it takes practice. Unless it doesn't, I mean, probably some people in this room were just born knowing how to connect with spirit and to know that the part of spirit that's coming through them. But by definition, if I'm connecting with spirit, I'm connecting through me. This is the radio transmitter that I have, you know? So there are people like that. I mean, I'm a little bit like that. The way in which I got through my childhood was connecting vertically, going within, and having a transmission that I could receive through me and as me. I couldn't have explained to you or talked to you about any of it, but it got me through. I don't know if anybody else here has had that. But then there are the rest of us, maybe not so much. We may have a very strong spiritual connection when we're in community like this, when we hear music, but dialing into that part of it for ourselves, for decisions, is a different matter. So what I teach, and I'm teaching a class in October, 6 Tuesdays online at noon. It's just a half an hour a week, different techniques that I'm doing. So if you're interested in that, because you have the card, you can get connected about that. There's also, if you come to the workshop afterwards, there's a QR code to register for that class if you wanted to. In that class, I really am specifically teaching you how to prepare for knowing, and how techniques for knowing, and then practicing that knowing. In the workshop today, we're just going to play, and it's more of a play shop than a workshop. We're just going to get with the decisions that the people who come are grappling with, and use it. I will intuitively just work with what's ever in the room. It's not a, now I'm talking about this, and now I'm talking about that thing. But the preparation is important, I find. So some people are just know, but I just knew, but I also had to do a lot of preparation to be able to reliably access spirit, because there's so much else in the way. I mean, if there's anyone within the sound of my voice who is lucky enough to have an addiction, I have a lot of them, or even to pretend to have addiction and have something that you do too much of, but it's definitely not an addiction, that would be, we have available to us these anonymous programs out there, and they teach the 12 steps, and the 12 steps are just weed pulling. That's all they are. They're tending consciousness by pulling the weeds of consciousness, so that when we plant seeds in consciousness, they can actually grow into what we want. If you've been sitting around using all the amazing tools of New Thought and Unity to affirm and to pray and to set intentions, if I'm planting seeds and intentions in a choked consciousness filled with worry, doubt, fear, regret, loss, all that kind of thing, that affects the way the plant is going to grow and how it's going to show up in my life. So pulling those weeds, who else has other ways to do that? Byron Katie's The Work is a way to pull those weeds. There's lots of ways. If you've been taught one of those ways, do you use it all the time? Or do you not? That's the other thing I really like about the 12-step communities, is that someone is like saying to me over and over again, well, that's nice, but did you Did you actually sit down and do the work on that? Oh, no. No, I just was really, there's a weed. There's another weed. You know, I can be in that, and I can think that's enough to just identify the weeds and not ever pull them. But if you're a gardener, I'm not really a gardener, but if you're a gardener, you probably know how well that works. Shadow work, that's another way. Whatever form of self-inquiry you have. After the weed pulling, I love questions. I've learned questions as a way to till the soil in consciousness. I've learned a lot of questions as a way to work with consciousness in access consciousness. And one of my favorite questions is, what else is possible? I say that a lot. What else is possible? And that is not a question for me to figure out. Figuring it out is not a tool. Figuring it out is just another rabbit hole to go through. So what else is possible is a question to the universe that just, I say that every time I feel stuck. I say it when I'm stuck in traffic. I say it when, like, I've hit a dead end on something I'm trying to bring into reality. A friend of mine calls that trouble at the border, right? Metaphysical reality is really light and airy and sweet. It's easy to create in mind. It's easy to have a vision. It's easy to know, that's what I'm doing. Then I start to move it into physical reality, and I encounter trouble at the border. Trouble at the border where everything is slow and muddy, and I have to get a permit for it. I'm out of here. Forget that, right? I'm not going to get my dream if I have to do a stupid permit. Nobody told me there'd be a permit on the way to the dream. That's ridiculous. I have to spend money? Oh my God. No, not doing that. What else is possible is a thing to say every time those roadblocks occur, and then my only job, I think my job is to figure it out and get a clipboard and spend hours on Google, but instead, my real only job is getting curious. What else is possible? One time my daughter called me. I love it every time my daughter calls me for advice. I just cry. I don't tell her, but I cry tears of joy because I didn't have that kind of relationship. I couldn't call my mother for advice. Well, I could call her, but it would be horrible. She calls me from an airport in Europe, and she's in tears, and it's the middle of the night where she is, and they canceled my flight, Mom, and I'm not, it's going to be like a day, and I'm going to have to be in the airport for an entire day, and they're not even giving me a hotel, and right? What do I do? And she said, you must have something I could do. I said, well, say aloud, what else is possible? And she said, I'm not going to do that. And I said, well, you called me. That's what I've got. And she goes, well, that's just dumb. I'm in an airport, and I'm not going to do it. And I said, okay. And she goes, thanks for nothing, Mom. Goodbye. So like 15 minutes later, she calls me back, and she says, you're never going to believe it. And I say, try me. And she goes, I went up to the same clerk that I had already asked 3 times about this, and I said to her, what else is possible? See, now she'll go to a person and say it because she thinks that person's not part of spirit. What else is possible? And the woman goes, well, I said I already told. Oh, this is weird. A plane going to your city just got scheduled, and it's like over there at that gate. Do you want to be on it? And she goes, yeah. And so she's calling me from the plane. 15 minutes later, she's on the plane to go home. And I said, honey, that's amazing. That's how spirit works. And she goes, well, it wasn't spirit, but I'm on the plane. So that's fine, right? You don't have to believe it's spirit. No one cares. Just say what else is possible. Watch something happen and then come up with your own version of what happened. I don't care. No one cares. The amazing thing is building consciousness, building the sense that there is always something else. There's always a solution. There's always, when I can't do it with my little self, the part of me that is connected to all things has a way out, has a way to do it. Yes? Yes. All right, my favorite tool is what's light for me? Is it light equals yes, and heavy equals no? And when I first encountered this tool, I absolutely hated it and was confused by it. And the reason was that I was this good little girl that was trying to save my family, and I thought that yes was heavy, that yes was a should. I should do all the shoulds. I should do all the things I'm supposed to do. See, I can't even talk about it without saying should. I should do it, and that's the yes. And so when something's light and airy and spacious, it feels empty. It feels like nothingness. And that can't be yes. That can't be yes. But the thing is that spirit is light. I mean, spirit's everything. It's also heavy. But spirit's yes is light in me. So let's try it. Pick up something in your mind that you're trying to decide between. It can just be, do I go to this stupid workshop or not? Or what do I go to a river or lake this afternoon, or whatever it is? Or it can be a big decision. But come up with two. Narrow it down to two things you're trying to decide between. Option A and option B. As I go, option A, is that light for me and feel? Does it feel light? Expansive? Or does it feel heavy? Or something in between? Often it's something in between, and that's kind of confusing. And now let's do option B. Does that feel light? Or does it feel heavy? Whew. Now go back to option A. Sometimes that helps. Compare it to what you've just gotten. Option A, light or heavy? Or what? That's learning, and it's also practicing. Now, I don't always have to do what's light for me. I mean, probably none of you have ever blown off what Spirit told you to do, but I often get, something very inconvenient feels like it's the yes, the spiritual yes. And I'm always at choice. I don't have to do it because it's the light. I don't have to. I could still do what I've always done before. I could still do yesterday. I don't have to do tomorrow. I could still do what my neighbors and friends or family expect me to do. There's no judgment that has to be attached to that. I can choose. And that's good news and bad news. I do find that it's more interesting if I choose what's light. 2 days ago, Friday, a friend of mine was encouraging me to try paddleboarding basically for the first time. And I was really resistant at the level of my human self. Really resistant. Just like so resistant. But when I sat with it and did what's light, what's heavy, and I got unequivocally light paddleboarding, and I was like, really? No. So I made the mistake of telling my friend this. She's the kind of friend I can tell these things to. And then And then I tried to back out of it the whole time. Like, we got there, and it turned out that you actually had to pump up the paddleboard. And I was like, deal breaker, you know. It turned out you had to screw the paddles together. Oh, my God. It's not up for that. There were dry bags. There were wet bags. I mean, God. But then I got on it, and I got out there, and it was just amazing. God, it was wonderful. And I was so happy. Oh, my spirit as me was so happy. Oh. And I would have missed it. I would have missed it. So it can be that confusing because the no can feel like sort of almost visceral, while the spiritual yes, it's just there as, it's not insistent. That's a main thing about spirit. It's just like, you're always at choice, and this is what would be light. This is what spirit as you would prefer to do. Yeah. Incredible. There's a lot of other tools I use. Truth, who does this belong to? What is your amount of havingness for this thing? Thought about doing that with you today in the service, but I might well do it in the workshop. In the class, for sure. Two-way writing, lots more working with questions. Coincidence, working with coincidence. How do you interpret coincidence, and how do you track it? All that stuff. I love practicing with low-stakes things, these tools. Like any game, like Sudoku or something where there's an answer that's true and there's an answer that's false. Like, practice these tools with those things. Or practice when it doesn't matter. Like, do I turn left or do I turn right while I'm walking somewhere? Just practice dialing into it, because if I don't practice with the small stakes, it's really hard to make any big decision on the basis of my inner truth. So is this just a way of like building support and building a sense of that I really can trust this, that this stuff actually works. It actually produces a reliably, scientifically proven better experience for me in my life. If you're not coming to the workshop and you want to stay in touch with me, there's cards on a lot of the chairs in the sanctuary or in the back. I would love to stay in touch with you. That would be fantastic. Continue this conversation. I really do mean that. I do tend to, people email me and ask questions, and it's fun. Let's take this message into prayer. We've already affirmed, we've already known so much about ourselves this morning. And so, because we are spiritual beings having a spiritual experience in a human body on a human plane, I speak my word for all of us, for everyone within the sound of my voice, for the fact of us knowing, the fact of us having access to our own truth, and through whatever channel we choose to use. And the ability to dial into that and to know it and to follow it should we want to. And I also destroy and uncreate yesterday and the past and everything I did yesterday. I speak my word for new thoughts. I can do it tomorrow exactly how I did yesterday, but right now I speak my word for the possibility of everyone in here and say yes if you're willing to do something new tomorrow. To listen, say yes in your heart, say yes in your voice, and listen to the part of you to follow a new thought tomorrow. To do something different, do something with the right hand instead of the left hand, or even small things. Eat breakfast before instead of after. Whatever it is, something new. And most of all, listen to what is ours to do in this world. What is ours to do in bringing forth a world that works for everyone? Envisioning and knowing and realizing that there are more than enough resources in this world for every single person in the entire world, big or small, to go to bed with a full belly and a full heart and a roof over their head today. And so I speak my word for an allocation of those resources that is based on a world that works for everyone, is based on spirit quickly dividing itself into the consciousness that allows that and making it happen. Pulling money, pulling people, pulling energy, pulling resources, all towards this center, towards every place that is standing for inclusion and standing for a world that works for everyone. And pulling all of that through everyone. Because I know there's no one left out of spirit. That's not a thing. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Spirit, for what else is possible, for how does it get any better than this? What energy, space, and consciousness can we in our bodies be to receive and be all we are here to be, and anything that doesn't allow it, I destroy and uncreate it all right now. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I let go and I let God, and so it is. Amen.
Thank you so much, Reverend Sara. That was wonderful. Such inspiration. If you're ready for something new, come to this workshop this afternoon. I think it's going to be wonderful. Okay, we're at the part of our service where we get to share our gratitude with the community through our tithes and love offerings. I know there's a slide coming to show you some different ways that you can do that. Our ushers are coming forward, and we will say our offering blessing here in a minute, but there are 3 ways that you can give. Of course, the easiest way is online with your text to tithe through your smartphone. You can do that. You can do it through our website, or we take it the old-fashioned way, too. Checks or cash work, too, and our ushers are coming forward with that. If you do give online, some of you don't know this, but we have these little cards out on the lobby tables. Sometimes people like to drop those in the offering bag when it comes around. You can give that blessing. Are we ready to hold our offerings? And we'll say this together. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
Hey, we're excited about introducing a new song this morning. This is about inclusion, and one of the tenets of unity is that of that you belong. Everyone, no matter where you're from, no matter what your gender, race, religious beliefs, everyone is here and invited. So we're going to put up the words for this new song. You're not obligated to sing in any way, but we wanted you to enjoy them with us, okay? Here we go. No matter your color, no matter your gender, no mind the language you speak or religiosity.
No matter your past, no matter what times may come, no matter the riches you found, we leave them all anyhow.
You belong with me, we are family. The world draws lines, hearts divide, but we're the same inside. You belong with me, we are family. There's a light within, it draws us in and calls us back again. You belong with me, Here we go. So tell me about you, LGBT or Q. No matter who you love, I love them along with you.
No matter your name, if you have an MBA, no matter your years of age, we're all headed home anyway.
You belong with me. We are family. The world draws lines, hearts divide, but we're the same inside. You belong with me. We are family. There's a light within, it draws us in and calls us back again. You belong with me. Oh, you belong with me. You belong with me. We are family. The world draws lines and hearts divide, but we're the same inside. You belong with me. We are family. That's right. There's a light within, it draws us in and calls us back again. You belong with me. We are family. The world draws lines, hearts divide, but we're the same inside. You belong with me. We are family. There's a light within, it draws us in and calls us back again. You belong with me. You belong with me. Here we go. You belong with me.
Beautiful, Michael. Such creativity. You do belong here. We're so glad you're here. Welcome to be a part of our community always. All right, we're going to sing our young people in. I see them out there waiting to come on in. So
Here we go.
Take it away.
You are the star of the morning. You are heaven smiling at us. You're God's gift of tomorrow. And how we love you. Yes, how we love you. You are the star of the morning. You are heaven smiling at us. You're God's gift of tomorrow. And how we love you. How we love you.
Alrighty, quick reminder, or I guess notification since I don't think any of you heard this before. Next Sunday, the YOU group is going to be leading the service up here. So.
We've been planning this all today, so yeah. Please come and please support us because we're really excited and we're looking forward to it.
We are all looking forward to it too. Thank you so much. Yeah. All right. Oh, and there's a sleeping baby downstairs. So if you're the parent of that baby, that's why it is not here. It is downstairs sleeping. So make sure you pick that baby up afterwards. I think that's what we need to know. Yeah. All right. So stand and join in the peace song with all of us. Let's do that.
Here we go. Here we go. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we.
prayer of protection together. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Woo! All right. We will see you at the workshop after you get your coffee. Michael's going to play out the kids, and you can greet Reverend Sara in the back.
1, 2, 3, 4. Thank